Welcome to the Business Awareness Hour with Norman, the Awareness Guy. Now, let's start the show.
Okay, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Business Awareness Hour. My name is Norman, also Wasserman, as in my full name, and I'm the guy, the awareness guy at the Business Awareness Hour. And right over there, my podcast princess is the lovely Holly Holiday. And how are you, Holly?
I'm great. How are you?
I am fine. What's going on in your world? Anything new this week?
Oh gosh, just, busy, but don't even know what I'm doing. It's one of those weeks.
Oh, it's a good idea to find out what you're doing.
Yes. But just busy. Did you we talked about the game on Friday.
Oh yeah, the Knicks
so
just pulled it off.
exciting.
We did what we had to do.
That's
And
right.
we did it with both cannons banging away at it. Great defense. Get out of my face kind of defense.
It was
It
so
was
much
wonderful.
fun. So much
And then
fun.
we start tomorrow night again.
Yep.
All the
Yep.
Knicks fans that are out there, stay tuned, watch the show, cheer them on. And if you're not a Knicks fan, maybe you're not a basketball fan, watch the game anyway because it's thrilling. It really is thrilling. It's really good. You know what also is thrilling? Well, not really so much thrilling. One of the toughest business out there is the merchant services world.
It is.
And I had a little sample of it for about a year or so, part-time. I was in the merchant services world. It just really, really tough. Competition is sick. I mean, everybody and their mother. I mean, I get at least 4 or 5 calls a week from strangers, people I do not know, asking if I would consider changing and what have you. And I just don't. And it's just really tough. But somebody who's beaten that world, right, and has made it is our guest tonight. And his name is Michael Herman, and the name of his company is Herman Merchant Services. And we welcome Michael right to the stage. Come on out, Mike.
Thank you. Hey, guys. Pleasure to be with you. I'm excited.
Nice having you here. Again, and I mean everything that I say. It is a very, very, very tough business. You can't in that business, as far as you cannot be in the right place at the right time at any time. If you go to in the morning, if you know it's 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock, whatever it is, and you walk into your local deli, and he thinks that you're going to buy a 2 scrambled eggs soft on a toasted buttered roll with bacon and salt and pepper, it's wrong. That doesn't happen. You want to get his business. And he looks at you and says, get out. Not now. I have no time. Get out. I mean, how many often a day do you go through this?
Well, and occasionally I'll get a return phone call, like this afternoon. I got the message with the general manager of an auto dealership. He went to my website and I responded. I made a comment about that, and he said, I'm not interested. So I figured rather than just use the old sales mentality, well, what is it that you're not interested in? I'll just take it as he's having a bad day. I'm going to send him an email and say, hey, thank you for getting back to me. If anything were to change, I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you. The main thing in sales, Norman, is you can't take these things personally, okay? Someone's having a bad day. I mean, we're in such a political divide. Our country's divided. We're watching, you were talking earlier about sports. So just all take it in good stride. I'm a strong proponent of personal development. And I try to turn off the news as much as I can. I immerse myself with good reading material.
Tell us a little bit. Let's go back in history. We start off in history and we come forward. Back when you graduated high school or you graduated college, you took a job. What kind of job was it?
Basically, if I can interject, I knew I was an entrepreneur back when I was in 5th grade. I used to go door to door selling my homemade hot pads, an example. Okay?
So you what?
I was selling hot pads, like pot holders. I used to make these.
Oh, okay.
I would take, back when we had glass jars, I would melt candle take the candle wax and put them on the jars and sold these door to door. I didn't care about my.
Did you take credit cards?
I'm sorry. Did I
Did
take
you
credit
take
cards?
credit
No.
cards?
Back then, who knew about credit cards? Okay, I'm going back in the 60s. But
Yeah.
fast forward in high school, I worked part-time at McDonald's. I think everyone should be working in a fast food restaurant or be a food server sometime in their lifetime, because you get a totally different perspective in terms of what their life is all about. In college, I worked part-time. And then out of college, I sold men's clothing for 14 years. I became very proficient in what I was doing because, Norman, if you came in with a significant other, I wasn't selling to you. I was selling to your significant other because she was the one who was making the decisions, okay? And that's how I got my business growing. I had 125 loyal customers at one point. I knew your name. I knew your significant's name. I knew what you bought, when you bought it, and your sizes. And I kept track of that in my head. This is before computers. And if you just came in and bought a suit for a special occasion, not only did you get a personal handwritten thank you note from me, but you got a follow-up phone call. How'd the interview go? How was the wedding, or et cetera? And that's how I established myself in terms of how do I distinguish myself from all others, and also ties back in with my merchant service industry.
I was going to say, you do the same thing today with when you're selling your merchant services. You have such great customer service.
And thank you, Howie. I think that distinguishes me from the others because, again, what happens is a rep or a reseller sells a product to a company, and then they move on to the next company and so on. And the companies never hear back from the reps. They're getting frustrated because they're not getting any service. All the sales mentality is, I've earned my commission, next, move on. My father told me to sell after the sale is done. Constant follow-up. Just make sure that they're pleased. Do you have any issues? Just letting them know about new features that are made available to them.
Did you do any giveaway? I remember when I was doing the merchant services, I was giving away the actual machine. If you remember back about 14 years ago or so when you were doing this, we were actually giving away the machine.
Yes. If I can, the updated term is probably called a smart terminal. Okay.
It is now.
Which faces the customer. So as a giveaway, I would do that. Now, there are times that I would give more than one away depending upon the profitability of the account. So to me, it's like a goodwill. I would rather earn less commission knowing that I'm providing a very good product for my customers.
Yeah, because in your industry, a lot like in mine, any service industry, it's a referral basis.
Bingo.
People need to refer you, and that's the way to make the sale.
Well, as I've told probably both of you separately, I don't expect referrals from our networking group. I want the right to earn the respect to get that business from a Holly or Norman or whoever I meet through our networking group. And I think that's very, very critical because so many people say, well, here I am. But we've all heard the term know, like, and trust. But the missing component of all this is, will I refer business to he or she?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
What did you when you got started in this business, did you do anything prior to it besides putting your childhood sales techniques to work?
I think a lot of it came from selling men's clothing. I also spent 7 years selling life insurance products. And I got out of the business because everyone was a so-called financial planner. This is back when the interest-sensitive products, like in the late 80s, early 90s, was like around 13%, and everyone became a financial planner. And all I had was one alphabet name after it's called LUTCF. And I didn't want to pass myself off as something I don't have those credentials with. And it was a very competitive industry. My father passed away 13 years ago. He was extremely successful. But I've learned a lot of skills from him in terms of, as I mentioned, do the little things that stand out, okay? A little thank you note. How often have you gotten a thank you note before Thanksgiving?
Right before? 6
About 2
months
weeks before.
How much before?
I
I
love
don't remember getting a thank you
Thanksgiving
note for
notes.
Thanksgiving, period.
Oh, I love them because it's all about saying thanks, and people just forget about the reason, Thanksgiving. I love getting thank you cards or thank cards on Thanksgiving for give thanks. They're fun.
And it's just doing the little things. It takes time, but you're keeping your name in front of the customers. I'd be willing to bet both you guys got a thank you note card from me in the past.
Yep.
You sold men's clothing. Did you sell men's clothing for a brand name retailer, or did
Yeah,
you?
I apologize for stepping on you. I don't know if you remember. Do you guys remember Kuppenheimer Men's Clothing Store?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so they're back in the day. There's 186 stores, and I'm new to retail, but I did the little things that separated me. I was in the top 50 in selling men's clothing store for 3 years in a row,
Pretty good.
and I'm brand new to retail. But then I moved on to Mark Shale, which is a Chicago-based company. I survived 2 rounds of layoffs with Chapter 11, and I spent I think like 12 years selling clothing. But nowadays, men and women have very limited choices of buying clothing in the store, so they're buying it online.
Mm-hmm.
The
A different time.
the tech of our show this evening and the owner of the broadcast studio has a major client in New York, New Jersey, about 10, 15 store men's retail clothing. Is that right, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Oh, he's very good with words.
I'm going to close my window here because it's all of a sudden it started storming.
It's kind of getting a little chilly. I was trying to give him a commercial for the business that he's with. I guess he didn't pick up on that. You want to try it again, Chris?
Yeah. You could hear me loud and clear?
We hear you great. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I work with a few different menswear brands. I love it. And you're 100% spot on with that customer service. That's what gets people coming back. But do a lot of marketing for them.
Here's a really good one from our tech Chris and owner of the Ready Set Studios. He is working with one of the people from the Sharks.
Shark Tank.
Yep.
That's
Any
pretty
words
good.
on that? You want to talk about that a little?
Yeah, with a lot of cool stuff. Projects. I'm working with a few of their products right now. So you'll be hearing more about that and seeing about that sometime soon.
He's doing all the photographies and the layout and all that other good kind of technical and sales type and all that good stuff. Okay, so we got that taken care of. How many different merchant services companies have you worked for over the 14 years till you got to your own?
All right, I'm unique, Norman, because I represent more than one company. For the first 13 years of my business, I worked with the first company called Pay Junction out of Santa Barbara, California. I wanted to do my due diligence before I came to work with them, because in my industry, it's not the most reputable. We could be viewed as speaking generalities, as a used car salesman. So I found that their values match my values. This past March of 24, one of the persons that recruited me to Pay Junction, he left, and I kept in touch with him, and he's now my product specialist with a second company called Goat Payment. And ironically, they're very similar. It's a virtual terminal, so you don't actually need a physical terminal that we talked about earlier to accept a payment. You could do this off your computer or in any room. So most merchant service reps just work with one company. Call myself a free agent.
So you have a few companies so that you can get the best prices.
Well, it's not more. It's more than just pricing. It's more in terms of how am I making improvements for their daily operations. Okay, how am I giving a better customer experience checking out? No one wants to wait in line anymore. You want to just get the heck out and move on to your next meeting or whatever the case may be. So I talk about easier end of day reconciliation. So a merchant, they could sign up with a merchant A and get a very low rate, which is great on the surface, But if they have to take all those receipts, Holly, and match them up before they do their daily batching, that's countless hours that they're wasting, okay? Where they could be better used working with the pet owner or the person that buys a car from them, all these different things, rather than contending with the papers, because these papers can get lost. They can end up in the circular by mistake. Numbers can get transposed. So I don't necessarily say I can lower your rates, okay? Now, with one of the companies that I do have, I can offset their fees by 95%. And that's a pretty bold statement to make.
That is. That's really great. So expound on one of your taglines is paperless. What is, I don't have it in front of me, but yes, explain more about that. So you're saying that nowadays you don't have to have a terminal. So if someone is in retail, they do have to have a terminal, but you're saying like e-commerce. How does that work?
Okay, here's an example. If you go to your medical doctor and say, Holly, it's $100, and typically what happens is you process the $100, whether you want to, using their terminal that's going to face the patient. They're going to give you a receipt to sign, and they're going to give a copy for you to keep, okay? They're going to take that receipt and put it in a desk drawer or whatever. So they got to take all those receipts that accumulate throughout the day and match them up with their software program called a practice management software, where we circumvent that. They don't have to. It's more like, Holly, I see you've got a card ending in 4 ones. Do you want to use that card? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Email your receipt.
I love that. Makes it so simple. Yep, so simple.
It's called card on file. Okay.
Okay. Yes, exactly.
If a business owner is still using the receipts, they're working the 20th century. I just posted on LinkedIn today about revisiting that there's a chemical on these paper receipts it's a hazardous chemical. It's kind of like if you use your water bottle and you reuse it over and over again, there's lead that leaks out on the bottle. Type thing. So they're much better going paperless, and everything's in the cloud. So everything's backed up for them.
And you're just saving time, and people need time. So you're giving a great service.
Thank you. Did I answer your question regarding that?
Mm-hmm. You did.
I'm sorry?
Okay.
I didn't hear what you said.
Did I answer the question?
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You have auto dealerships that you talk about in the information that I have, and you specialize in auto dealerships now. Is that correct?
That is correct. So back in 2014, I contacted a CFO through LinkedIn. I was persistent without being pushy. Fast forward, I landed my first dealership group. He had 6 locations in 3 different states. So I thought dealerships can be interesting to work with. Okay. And
big ticket item.
Yes. Now my dealerships are doing conservatively about $300,000 to $1 million a month in processing. So I'm looking for that high ticket, high volume transaction.
So what does a small entrepreneur, medium-sized entrepreneur do with you? Do you take those people on, or is it only majors?
Well, I usually suggest not starting with me yet, because a small business owner, if they're not meeting a minimum threshold, say $25,000 a month, he or she may not like having a $25 monthly fee added on top of their fees. So I usually say, why don't you stay with where you're at? I know that you're going to be paying much more money for your transaction, but as your business grows, you're going to be much better off. I'll give you a prime example. There's someone that we know from our networking group, and we spoke, and she says, I know other people in the merchant service businesses, but I trust you. That was a nice compliment, because she was interested in making a change. And I told this person that just stay put. As your business grows, let's have a conversation. So I'm not looking to take every piece of business. It's really as is situation, or as needed.
So you have auto dealerships that you really like, and then didn't you just go to you've got a plumbing company that you just landed?
I did an expo on March 21st in my neck of the woods, Chicagoland. We had a nice booth. We had a $250 gift card giveaway. And I had a fair amount of people come up to me, but unfortunately, the plumbers are a little slow because the
Right.
priorities really are about taking care of the emergencies, okay? So really, my number 2 market is working with veterinarian practices
Oh,
because a lot of
okay.
people have pets.
Right.
So what's special
That's
about
true.
vets?
Well, first of all, I didn't grow up with any pets, okay? And in most families, a pet is considered an extended part of their family.
Oh,
Who wouldn't
sure.
want to take care of their pet? So I'll give you an example. If you take your dog or cat in and they need emergency surgery, and the vet and the technician sit down with you and say, well, Fido needs emergency service surgery, and it's going to cost $8,000. The first thing you're going to think of is, how the heck am I going to pay for this?
Right.
Okay. I want to take care of Fido, but how do I pay for this? What if I have a solution? It's called reoccurring payments. So I can give peace of mind to the pet owner. They make installment payments, which is free of charge, back to the pet owner. Okay. Excuse me, back to the vet practice. Okay. This software is included with both of my companies. The company doesn't have to charge the pet owner for the service, because everyone's heard of Care Credit. Okay,
Right.
it's used for pets, it's used for humans. However, a lot of people may not want to take on an additional credit card, or maybe they can't qualify for Care Credit. So what if I had a better solution that doesn't cost any additional money for the pet owner, and the receivables are coming in much quicker? I'm
That's
sure
great.
pet owners love that.
Yep. They love that. Yeah, and we're talking about getting into veterinarians, and it's a no-brainer. It's just getting in front of those people, and so that you can take care of them, that both the vet and their client.
So how long have you been doing this vet world?
I've been working with vets, I think, for about the past 4 years.
Are they just local in where you live, or are they around the country?
They are around the country. The nice thing about my industry, or myself, is I don't have to tie myself into the state of Illinois where I reside,
Mhm.
or a geographical zip code area. I've got customers, I think, in 5, 6, 7 states.
That's great.
For the vets
For the vets and auto dealerships.
And all are
and all the dealerships. Are you looking to try to bring in any new industries?
I'm working with distribution, and I would love to get involved with what I call the vanity market. That would be vein clinics, plastic surgery, and what was the other one that I'm missing? Plastic surgery, vein clinics, and dermatology. Because
Yes.
the customer or the patient is self-paying for this. Insurance typically is not going to pick up something like this. So again, I can offer these practices the recurring payment option.
Point of sales.
My apology, what was that?
Point of sales. Do you have restaurants? Where do you sell your point of sale systems? Do you have multiple point of sale systems for different industries?
In terms of how are they processing, or
Yeah,
how
how
might,
and do you service those kind of industries?
okay, so the point of sale could be any number of different terminals that the customer can select, okay? So it could be a physical terminal that's sitting on their countertop, if I'm understanding your question, or the point of sale could be done directly on their computer. So like, for example, a restaurant would not be a good fit because their point of sale is that they're going to use this for inventory and other needs. So I'm not sure if I've addressed that question.
Well, I hear a lot the term point of sales specifically with restaurants. And if it's, that's major retail, that's fast turnover, depending on the type of food that a restaurant sells. specialty items. It's a high volume business.
Very much so. That's just unfortunately the one industry that would not be a good fit with both of the companies I represent.
Are you interested in getting into that type of an industry? I mean, you do something similar with the dealerships.
Well,
Your customer comes in, buys a car, they charge X number of dollars versus a person going into a restaurant, same type of thing, gives their credit card, same type of stuff.
It's not a simple yes or no answer because it depends upon their POS system in terms of how can we integrate, how can we work with them. So I would say for now, restaurants would not be a business that I would prefer to get into, adding on to the medical and auto dealerships. So thank you.
And if people want to get a hold of you, how do they get in touch with you?
They can either contact me. I've got my phone number on here, 847-651-9795. I've got my email here at mherman, it's Herman, at hermanmerchantservices.com. My website is Herman Merchant Services. They can opt in and it's non-evasive. It's just like a first, last name. I don't need either phone number, just the name of their business and email address. And they will be getting a very quick response from me.
Great, good stuff. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to take a real short break, and then we're going to bring you back, and we're going to want you to brag a little bit about some stuff that you brought us. You think you can do that?
I'm going to brag about, what was that?
Some stuff that you brought us to show.
Okay, I love it.
You're with me now, right? Okay.
I am with you.
Hang in there. All right, Chris,
I'm
let's run to my commercial.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friend Entertainment USA. My name is Norman Wasserman. I am also known as the Music Man. Let me just tell you a little bit about Friend Entertainment. We put on concerts for charities, and we do that everywhere from New York to Las Vegas. We do R&B, Motown, rock and roll, jazz, whatever it is that you wish. Friend Entertainment will deliver the best of the best for you and your charity. Here are some of the names of the talent that have performed with us on our stage. Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner, The Temptations, Earth, Wind and Fire, the one and only ELO, Elton John himself, Kool and the Gang, and the fabulous Donna Summer. Go to our website, friendentusa.com.
Okay, and welcome back to the Business Awareness Hour. If you want to get in touch with Friend Entertainment or the Business Awareness Hour, call me at 631-987-8477, 631-987-8477. Okay. All right, so now we are back, and our guest here is Michael Herman from Herman Merchant Services. And what is the true definition of merchant services? It's such a broad title.
I would say someone that has the ability to accept ACH, automatic clearinghouse checks, has the ability to take a credit card or a debit card in a means of accepting payments from a customer or a patient.
Okay. Now, explain a little bit more than that. I mean, there's merchant services you can offer. There's a lot of different things that you offer with merchant services. It's not just taking credit cards.
Well, I offer a variety of different things that are tied in with my respective company. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm not selling rates. I'm selling my service. I'm selling more about their office efficiencies in terms of how they can run their practice much better, and rather than wasting time. That's how I'm presenting myself with. So again, there's 1,001 different companies out there that are saying I can lower your rates. They've all heard that. What they haven't heard is how are you going to solve my problem? And that's how I try to address it with them.
Okay. Now, we said we had something special that we're going to go and show. And what we're going to do is I'm going to ask Chris if he could put up on the screen two brand new I think they're brand new, book covers that are attached to books. Right? Is that pretty clever of me? Okay. So the first one is your merchant services provider a source of frustration? Go for it, Mike. Explain that book at length.
Okay, so basically, it's not a lengthy, if you want to call it an ebook. It's 3 pages on each one of these. What I've figured out is there's numerous issues that a merchant contends with. We talked about a salesperson signs you up, you never hear from them. Okay, why is that? Okay, or why are my calls being rerouted overseas? We get that quite a bit. Okay, why are my rates going up? So there's a number of different things that you as a merchant or prospective merchant are going to contend with. So again, I'm coming from a practical standpoint. It's not like, here I am, guys, I'm the best thing since sliced bread. I'm addressing these issues that I hear about with all my nearly 14 years of experience.
Okay. That's that book. Is that?
That is correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then we're going to jump over to why you would select merchant services provider and what it may be costing you. And that's a good one because percentages are different everywhere you turn.
Correct.
And after this, I'd like an explanation of the different types of cards. Like if you have a travel card, if you have a restaurant card, you have this kind of card and that kind of card, the percentages change. But let's explain this book first.
All right. So we'll table on the percentages. Okay. So basically, I came up with 8 different reasons why a merchant selected the merchant service provider. It could have been from a networking group. It could have been through an association. It could have been through their bank, a number of different things. What I hear quite a bit is like, well, if I contact an auto dealership and I speak with the controller CFO, well, we have to use our bank because they're doing our floor plan and they can reduce our rate on the interest rate. So we've got to use their merchant service provider. But a lot of people are not aware of that. A bank has a third-party company that is just part of the bank. Okay, there's no real relationship. And you wonder, can that bank merchant service provider, whoever they use, can they handle a high volume ticket? So I've addressed that. Is it the right fit to use the bank and try to save a 0.5 percentage point off the interest rate? And I would say clearly no. And just different ways that come across meeting your current merchant service provider. I've addressed all that. Now, in terms of rates, a debit card is going to be cheaper for the merchant to accept than a rewards card. Okay. There's a term called card not present. So it's typically if someone calls you, Norman, who wants to book a charity event, all you're doing is you're inputting the 16-digit credit card number along with the expiration and the security code. That's a higher cost for you to operate your business.
Right.
Versus if they actually come into a brick and mortar and hand over the debit credit card. So there are many different fee structures, okay? And then there's also hidden fees that a lot of merchants are not aware of. They say, I've got fantastic rates. Well, give me an opportunity to do a side-by-side saving, and let's see if you really do have the lowest rates.
So I know a little bit about the rate percentages and so on, and about swiping and non-swiping and all this other kind of stuff. Okay, I'm just average Joe, or I'm in a dealership, and you happen to walk in or you call, and we agree that I'm going to talk to you. And I'm going to talk to you because I don't know if I'm totally happy, right? And I don't know if it's the lack of or the percentages or the traffic. I have no idea, but something is not making me comfortable with my merchant services. What can you do for someone like me? I've only been in a business maybe 5 or 10 years, okay, which is a pretty short time to get your own dealership.
Well, I'm going to ask a lot of probing questions in terms
of let's talk about those.
Who are you currently working with? Okay, I'm going to ask what is it that you like about your current setup? What is it that you didn't like about it? Okay, So I'm going to get some information with that. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper and say, who is your dealer management software with? Okay. And I'm going to say, can you integrate with the software? What that means is, can you avoid a double entry using their software program for handling the payments and using one of my two companies as the processor? That was an oversimplified version of integration. I'm going to find out in terms of, do you guys have to take receipts like we talked about, and match them up in each of your departments? I mean, that's very time consuming. I'm going to find just, do you have the ability to recapture? Do you have the ability using a surcharging feature or dual pricing? So I'm going to just ask them some questions, time permitted, and then I'm going to ask them to send me your two most recent merchant statements. Let our team review their statements. We're going to show them a savings report, and we're going to show them that, you've got hidden fees, like you got a compliance fee, okay? Right. You've got a statement fee. You've got a number of different fees that should not be on there. And
so you can take those off and compare and get them better pricing.
Yes. So again, we're going to either meet what they currently have or lower the prices with better technology. With Code Payment, I have a $1,000 challenge. If we can't adjust their rates, they're going to get at least a $1,000 check from Code Payment. I mean, who wouldn't want to take me up on that challenge?
That's true. That is true.
How sophisticated is the technology and the back end?
Very much so. It's like way over my skill set. I've got to admit to that. Okay. I'm in a technical industry that I'm still learning. Okay. The fortunate thing is, if someone asks me a question, I'm going to say, Norman, that's a great question. Let me get an answer for you on that. Or I'll put them in touch with someone that can answer the question. I don't want to BS my way through a sales opportunity.
Well, you want to give them the correct information, period.
Correct.
And but by the time you get done, that answer that you got made your sale.
You are so right. So again, I'd rather provide reliable, honest answers than making stuff up that they're not going to buy anyway. So they're going to see right through it.
What do you think about the rates and what's going on now with the economy?
Boy, that's a tough question. Okay. I mean, the rates
I didn't make it easy. I didn't promise to make this easy for you.
Well, in terms of, are you saying like prices of eggs coming down? I don't know what you're referring to.
Well, are we in an inflation?
Well, the inflation rate, well, let me answer it this way. With the economy that we're experiencing, has not affected my business in industries at all. People are still getting their car serviced. They're still getting the repairs done. They're still buying cars, okay? Mm-hmm. On the vet industry, they're still bringing their pets in, okay? Again, as I mentioned, it's an extended part of their family. They're still going to take care of those loved ones. In terms of like with inflation, I really don't think inflation, whether it's deflation or inflation or whatever, stagflation. I was trying to come up with all these terms. Yes,
any kind of inflation. Any kind of inflation.
Inflation.
So I sincerely has not impacted my industry. Now, each month, my industry, the amount of business I do fluctuates from month to month. Okay. I mean, some months are much greater than others.
Yeah, that fluctuates week to week, day by day.
Yeah.
Well, with me, it's month by month in terms of I'm getting paid from a month prior. Okay. And there are some months that are going to be a little bit softer than others based upon their volume. So I'm paid on the volume of the business.
Stories. You must have in your world of merchant services some really interesting stories about the business, about your customers or whatever. Can you share one or two of them with us?
Well,
you don't have to mention names.
Right. I hear you. Well, here's an interesting story. There's a dealership in the Midwest group. I contacted the CFO. And we presented to them about 6 years ago, okay? We were going to save them $121,000 annually. At that time, they had about 15 locations. Take a guess what their objection was.
I couldn't even gather.
They wanted a local representative. Okay. 95% of my customers I have never met. The relationship is all done on the phone. Okay.
Right.
And as it turns out, someone who I used to work with Bay Junction, he lived 5 minutes from the store. I still could not get my foot in the door again.
Really?
And I said, and I was able to address that objection. I'm still trying to earn their business. So that was the most craziest thing I've ever heard is we're going to save them like $121,000 annually about 5 years ago. And they didn't want to sign up with me. Another dealership group in the Midwest, they have a couple in Illinois and a couple up above me in Wisconsin. We were going to save them tons of money, but they wanted free equipment. And that would have come out of my account profitability, and I would have earned nothing. So sometimes it's the old Kenny Rogers song, got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away.
That's exactly right.
Dealerships are fascinating because sometimes you feel like they're not always telling you the truth, okay? And you kind of have to decipher what they're really talking about. So all I'm trying to do is establish relationship. If a need comes up that they have an issue, I could be their go-to person. That's how I present myself. If they're perfectly happy with what they have, I'm not here to take business away from them, okay? If they want to have a conversation and if they're looking to bring themselves to the 21st century, I would be honored to be their go-to guy.
Okay.
So who are the people that you're looking for? Do you try to, go straight for the CFOs, the CEOs, or are you trying to get in with, the accounting department? Who are you looking in these companies to get with?
Holly, that's a great question. In the automotive space, it's either going to be a general manager, a CFO who could be the controller, or a corporate controller is usually my go-to. Those are the decision makers. If they have multiple locations, like 8 stores, I will never have a conversation with a principal dealer owner, okay? He or she is just going to sign the paperwork. They're going to present what we're saving. They're going to move forward in a positive direction, and they're just going to send the paperwork. I mean, I went to an open house, a grand opening last month, and I never met the owner before, but I shook his hands. It's a family-owned business. I wrote the owner a handwritten note, thanking for the invite. Okay, so now he could put the name and the face together.
Mm-hmm.
Those connections are so important.
I posted this on LinkedIn, and it blew me away. I took a picture of the grand opening. There was 3,400 impressions and over 50 likes and comments. That just blew me away. I wasn't trying to do the pat myself on the back of this. I was just trying to say, hey, I was just honored to be there. The CFO invited me. I met some wonderful people.
There's a commercial that runs here in New York, and I'm sure it's nationwide. It's about a guy in Chicago who is a automobile dealer. He has Mercedes, Lamborghinis, Rolls-Royce, BMWs, you name it. He has it in his stock of dealerships. He does collision work. In other words, you put your car on a truck and you send the truck down to his place of business. They fix it. He's a national name. His first name is Joe, and I don't know what the last name happens to be. Do you know who I'm referring to?
There's a Joe Perillo.
That's it. That's the guy. That's a guy.
I never had I believe he's still in Chicago. I don't know if he still has his dealership groups in Chicago.
Why don't you call him? Tell him that you know me.
Well, I would love an introduction, Norman. You know that.
I don't have a clue who this guy is. I just hear his commercials constantly. He spends a lot of money in advertising.
Well, score one for me that I knew who you're talking about.
All right, that's good. That you're on top of it.
I tried.
You're on top of it. So if there is anybody out there who knows Joe Perillo, give my friend here a phone call. And how would they reach you? What's your phone number? Go ahead.
It is area code 847-651-9795. Again, they can email me at mherman, HERMAN, at hermanmerchantservices.com. Feel free to go to the website at hermanmerchantservices.com. Just opt in there, and I promise that whoever I'm introduced will be treated with the utmost courtesy and respect. They are not going to be hounded. I don't work that way.
Joe Perillo. That's it. He does his own commercial too, which is nice. He does a good job with it.
Absolutely.
Who would you like to be introduced to besides Joe Perillo?
Any dealership that is open-minded in any neck of the woods. Seriously. Because I've got dealership groups primarily in Texas and in Illinois. I can work remotely, which is great. All I need is a warm introduction, introducing me. I have a bio that I can pass along to these folks. It's not like reading Moby Dick. It's very short. It just talks about my core values. And we will do all the rest. I'm happy to compensate for any referrals that culminate in business. So if there's an incentive for he or she that's listening, I'll be more than happy to talk to you about that.
What's the $1,000 challenge?
$1,000 challenge referring to with my second company, Goat Payments, is that if we cannot reduce their merchant service rates, the merchant will get $1,000. If they have multiple locations, it's just going to be to one location. It could be for any industry that we work in. And with Go Payments, another nice thing about working with them is I could take on a higher risk customer as compared to the first company. My first company is a little bit more conservative with the underwriting.
And that's the paperless company.
They're both paperless, by the way.
Okay.
And they both have a virtual terminal.
Was paperless an original idea by you? Did you start?
No, I can't take credit for that one, Norman. This started
it out there.
Well, they've been in business for about 23 years. I lost track, and they were paperless. It's just that more and more companies are seeing the light and coming to the 21st century and said, I don't have to mess around with all these paper receipts, okay? We talked about the chemicals on the paper. We talked about the papers can be tossed inadvertently in the trash can or misplaced somewhere. Let's make it more efficient for these guys. Let's save them a lot of time, because one of my vet practices, I'm saving them 45 minutes off their day of reconciliation. If a vet practice is open for 6 days a week, you take 45 minutes times 6 days a week times 25 days that they're open per month. That's a lot of time I'm saving them, where they can invest that time in their operations, spending more time with the pets, and just running their practice a heck of a lot better. So I'm all about efficiency. It's not necessarily that I could save you money. I know I'll save you money because I will match or reduce.
Is there some sort of a automobile dealership convention or where people in the industry share different things and like merchant services?
Yes, there is the NADA, which is a national organization, and then there's a women's organization that designed for women's owners. There are too many merchant service professionals that have booths there. And I found that it would not be a good return on my investment going there to these
warm
conventions.
leads. You want warm leads.
One lead, one customer, maybe two would pay for itself.
Right. And so going back to the pet veterinarians, the people that you want to get in touch with are the practice managers. Is that correct?
Correct. That is correct, because typically a vet, unless I'm related to the vet, I'm not going to have a conversation with them.
Right. So if anyone knows any practice managers of vets, those would be great leads for you.
Thank you. Sometimes they're referred as office managers.
Office managers. Okay. Yes.
Also, oral surgeons is huge because again, I can use the installment plan, the recurring payments for these guys. And usually, an oral surgeon is a higher end ticket, and their insurance is not going to pay for a lot of it.
Right.
So if it's insurance related, it's not a good fit for me. If you're self-paying for the goods or services, it's a much better fit.
The reason why I had asked the question just a moment ago, I can see you offering a seminar.
I have thought about that.
Well, that's a suggestion. You have a lot to put out there. You have information that they'll understand, and they'll be able to see in dollars and cents when they do their computing, sitting in their little seat, listening to you chat, right? What you can mean to them.
That means quite a bit, Norman. Thank you. And I think if they want to get any of the ebooks, they're only 3 pages long, so you can digest this very quickly.
Why don't you give the book away for them to partake in the in the convention or the seminar or the lecture?
It's a great lead magnet.
No money.
I was thinking of doing that. And again, if the audience wants to raise their hand and ask for the ebooks, however you guys are equipped to do that, that's perfectly fine. But again, I've done Toastmasters for 6 years. I've done a lot of speaking in the past. As I mentioned earlier about the Richard.
You're not talking to just dealerships and related.
Correct.
I'm talking about doing this only with the dealerships and related industries.
Well, we will have to talk about that offline. I do like that idea in terms of how I can position myself. Thank you.
You'd be running it. It's all in your lap. All you need is one person to say yes.
You're 100% correct on that.
You know?
And I put together networking groups in terms of people that I work with, say in automotive dealerships.
You see, but I don't see networking groups being your market. You think about the networking groups that you belong to. How many of those particular people have anything to do with an auto dealership or anything related?
But they might know someone.
Bingo. But are you paying for the privilege of finding out that someone may know someone?
Because everyone's bought a car, and when you go to a car, you have to go talk to the guy in the back. They always
but you got the guy. But you got that guy.
And so you get to know him, and so those are the people that once you buy that car, remember that name and give it to Michael.
No, you raise a good point. In the state of Illinois, as I mentioned, that where I reside, I developed a business relationship with a merger and acquisition attorney that work with Illinois and Wisconsin dealerships. I'm developing a relationship with a risk management person that works only with auto dealerships. I'm developing a relationship with people that are in the medical space. And if we can open up doors for one another, that's the important thing in terms of leveraging your time. Networking, for me, you're right, it's probably not my strong suit. But when I've met with both of you, I don't try to say it's all about me. It's like, who can I introduce you guys to?
Well, you have a great presence, and I think that I can see you doing small videos that you send in a newsletter or something, so that when you hit those people, they get to know you, and then they want to work with you because you are so personable, and you really show how you want to help them, and how confident of what you're doing. You've been in the industry long enough, and that you can take care of them. I can see you doing those videos, and I've seen your social media, and you're spreading yourself out there, which is great.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
When we are off air, I have the phone number for you of somebody that is in what do they call it? The Motor City.
Windy City or Motor City's Detroit.
Exactly. So this person is from Detroit, all different kinds of businesses. I'm not sure what she knows about or who she can recommend for the automobile industry, but I would wager she knows. Actually, she does. If I'm not mistaken, I think she was employed by General Motors.
There you go.
So
Awesome.
this might be worth the price of admission. So
That's right.
Don't hang up the phone when this is done, because this could be the lead of leads for you. It just, as we're sitting here talking, and this person's going to be on air with me also in a couple of weeks. So I thought this is a good match.
And Michael, I'm going to be buying a car in the next month. So, when I go to that back room, I'm going to get his card and have that relationship and say, you have to talk to Michael Herman.
Well, let's do it a little differently. Maybe Michael Herman knows somebody where you're going to buy a car. And
anybody in North Carolina?
Well, it depends. Holly, you're in North Carolina, right?
Yep.
Okay. So unfortunately, as of tonight, I have no dealerships in North Carolina.
We're going to change that.
Okay. So if you're in Chicagoland, depending upon the EOM, what type of car you're going to buy, then it's a different conversation. Or in Texas.
Yes. Yep. No, we're going to get you into North Carolina.
Well, I would be honored again. And again, any introductions, if they're expecting a phone call, an email from me, they will be treated like God.
Do you deal with any dealerships in New York?
I have in the past, Upper State. I'm trying to get the business back, like near Albany.
Mm-hmm. We have out here in Long Island a couple of names with their national dealers. I mean, they have 26, 36 different brand name cars.
That may be a tad big. The biggest dealership group I currently have now is 11.
They have 11 dealerships.
That's no kick in the butt.
But when you get into the Auto Nations and some of the others, there's too many layers. That's
right.
I think.
That's true.
Okay, so what do you want to put out there? It's getting close to the witching hour. And I would like you to, if you choose to, make put it out there of who you are, what you like, and what you're looking to do with the merchant services world that you're in.
All right. So again, I've been in sales and service all my life. I've been in the merchant services industry. On July 12th, it'll be 14 years. So I'm coming up to my next anniversary. I want to put myself in the customer's perspective. What would he or she like that they're not getting currently?
Right.
I've always had that attitude. That made me very successful when I was selling clothing. What are they getting? Why aren't they getting that service? Okay. Is it because they moved on to another customer? I'm here to service after you become a customer. Okay. If you have an issue and I cannot address that issue, I'm going to get the solution for you. So I'm going to be at your best interest. It's not like I'm putting money in my pocket and walking away from you. You're going to hear from me at least once a month, whether it's a phone call, email, or text message. I'm going to be servicing my accounts like they've never been serviced. If people go to my website, hermanmerchantservices.com, or can connect with me on LinkedIn, Michael R. Herman, you're going to see a bunch of testimonials on there, okay? And the commonality is knowledgeable and professional.
Okay, and the last shot to give out that contact information. Go get them, babe.
All right. So again, it's Mike. My phone number is 847-651-9795. Again, 847-651-9795. My email address is M for Michael, Herman, Herman, at Herman, Herman, Merchant Services. That's with an S, so that's plural.com. My website is hermanmerchantservices.com. They can opt in. It's non-invasive. And I look forward to working with anyone that needs questions, or I can assist them in any possible way. And I want to thank you very much.
Good stuff. You did a nice job, my friend. And if
Thank
you check the clock, we got 8 seconds.
Wow.
So we pretty much finished right on time. You did a great job. It was really great having you here. I thought I knew a little bit more than you told, but you got it. You nailed it. And anyone who is looking for a car or looking for merchant services, give Michael a buzz. And we're not going to repeat his phone number again. We're going to drive everybody crazy with the phone number. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you, I think, tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken.
Tomorrow night.
And thank you so much. So good evening, everybody.
Guys.
Have a good day. See you tomorrow.